So I want to talk a little bit about rules this morning, namely self-imposed rules. I work with a fair number of people who are dealing with compulsions and addictive behaviors. And so their tendency is to set rules for themselves, like I can't do this, or I have to do that, or I have to do less of this, or I have to do more of that. I shouldn't. And God forbid they break any of their own self-imposed rules. I have one person I work with who, if they have any kind of chocolate, they just kick their own ass for days. It's like they hate themselves. They can't get off their own case. And for other people, they're trying to get, clean and sober from drugs or alcohol. And so when they use or drink, they call it a slip or a relapse, it's just such an emotional blow. And people get so hard on themselves about it. It's like there's a lot of shame that comes up as a result of breaking your own rule. Now, think about how arbitrary this is. I could have some chocolate or I could have a glass of wine and nothing happens. Yeah, I might be a little hungover from the wine the next day, but there's no shame or self-hatred storm, yeah? I'm not berating myself or feeling like a failure. What is that? If I set a rule that I could never have a chicken McNugget ever again for the rest of my life, it would likely be because I had a deep belief that chicken McNuggets are the root of my suffering. When I dip them in sweet and sour sauce, forget it. I get a family-size pack. I don't even need fries. I'm just off to the races, Those chicken McNuggets are the reason that I'm unhappy. And you can substitute whatever compulsion or addictive pattern you have here. The point is that the belief that chicken McNuggets are the root of suffering or the source of my unhappiness, that's not true. It's a miss, and for 3 reasons. 1, chicken McNuggets make me happy, at least temporarily, right? They regulate my dysregulated nervous system, and that's why I have the compulsion to eat them. 2, there's a period of time before I started overeating or addictively eating chicken McNuggets where there was no fallout. Yeah, I could eat them and no problem. So what changed? How could they not be the source of my unhappiness before, but they are now? And maybe most importantly, 3, the rule that I set around eating chicken McNuggets now mirrors the rule I set for myself around expressing certain emotions when I was a kid. And that childhood rule is what's causing dysregulation and addiction in my system in the first place. Emotional repression are rules that have been running for our entire lives saying, don't feel angry, don't express your anger, don't feel hurt, don't show your hurt, don't. That is the root of suffering. And that is what we try to solve by drinking, using, acting out, overeating, right? Addiction is a solution to the problem of emotional repression. And so trying to solve the problem caused by rules with more rules is not going to work very well. Meaning it's probably at some level going to reinforce our emotional repression and our suffering, which is why people hop addictions, right? They go from one thing to another. They stop cocaine and then they pick up porn, or, they put down alcohol and then they become addicted to the approval and encouragement and support of their 12-step group, right? All of it is an attempt to soothe a dysregulated nervous system that's dysregulated because there's buried emotions in the body. Now, not everybody wants to or has to address these buried emotions or resolve their emotional repression, of course, right? So for those of you who don't, rules are going to be your thing. So keep on, right? With recovery, with abstinence, clean time, plug in the jug, go for it. But here's my appeal to you. Wouldn't you want to find out what it's like not to have to impose any rules on yourself around anything? And wouldn't you want to know if those rules and your emotional repression was creating, driving, and sustaining your compulsions and addictions? Wouldn't you want to resolve those if you could, yeah? And eat chicken McNuggets or chocolate or wine if you wanted to, and not if you didn't. Because that's what authentic recovery in KI looks like, right? When we resolve our emotional repression, we regain the power of choice in our lives, even over the thing that we were previously addicted to, right? So we can take it or leave it, and either way, it's fine. Much like it was prior to rules. So If that's too scary for you, stick with the rules. If not, visit repressiontest.com.